I'd highly recommend that you start with sketching a hexagon because our floor tile is in the shape of a hexagon. We've been asked to find how many tiles would be needed to cover a 25 by 32 foot floor. I'm going to suggest, because this is going to be, this is asking for area, right? Okay, so we've got a 25 by 32 foot floor. If you multiply 25 times 32, you will get 800 square feet, okay? So what we need to know is how many tiles will it take to cover 800 square feet? So let's find the area of one tile, all right? So I'm going to just draw my little triangles here. Remember that the formula for the area of a regular polygon is 1/2 times apothem times perimeter. Well, lucky for us, they've told us that the sides are 12 inches long, okay? So if each of these sides are 12 inches long, that means 12 times 6 is 72. We know the perimeter is 72. We know 1/2. We need to find the apothem, all right? So that's going to be the probably the hardest part, but that's okay, we can get to it. It's not going to be so difficult. Let's start by recognizing that each of these angles adds up to 360, and there are 6 of them, so 360 divided by 6 is going to be 60 degrees. So we know this is 60 degrees, but we don't really care about that so much as we care about this angle measure right here. So I'm going to just sketch this triangle right here, this yellow triangle. I'm just going to redraw that right down here a little bit bigger, okay? So I know this is 30 degrees, right? And I know this little piece right here has to be 6 because it's half of 12. Do you recognize that as a 30, 60, 90 triangle? I hope so. The 30, 60, 90 triangle has a square root of 3 here. If the 30 degrees is here, the 60 degrees is here, and a 1 here. All right? And that means, and then we have 2 here, right? Okay? So that means we have, if we know the short leg times the square root of 3 equals the long leg, right? Okay? So here we have the short leg times the square root of 3 gives us the long leg. People, there's our apothem. So we have 6 times the square root of 3 as our apothem. Now we're ready to find the area. Well, 1/2 times 6 times 72. If you do all of that multiplication out, you'll get 374.12 inches squared. So this one tile has an area of 374.12 inches squared. Now I did some rounding there, so if you can leave this 374.12 in your calculator, that'd be a good idea, right? Well, here's the deal though. Look, here we have inches squared, here we have feet squared. So we're going to have to change this into feet. So let's use a conversion factor and do that. 374.12 inches squared over 1, and our conversion factor is going to be 12 inches is equal to 1 foot, but we have to do it twice because we have squares here, right? Okay, so we can cancel, the reason we had the 12 inches in the denominator is so that we could cancel these inches, right? But we needed 2 of these inches to be able to cancel the 2 inches that were, the inches squared that were represented here. So now all we have to do is just the math on this. 374.12 times 1 times 1 divided by 12 divided by 12. So you've got to do that, or you could just say divided by 144. Okay? So that should give you 2.598. I'll leave it like that for now. Feet squared, because I'm guessing you have this still in your calculator, right? Okay, so what we're saying here is that this area, the area of one hexagon tile, is this big. So how many of these guys is it going to take to cover 800 square feet? All we have to do is just some division. 800 divided by 2.598. And I didn't do any rounding for my final answer. I know I'm showing rounding here, but I didn't do any rounding. I just kept all these numbers in my calculator. And I got 307 point something. I don't really even remember, but it rounded up. Obviously, we're going to need at least 308 tiles to be able to cover the floor, because if we only have part of a tile, we'll have a little hole in the floor. Won't look good at all. So 308, I guess, tiles we should add here.